Okay, good morning. We are going to do a very super quick video on how to make a very healthy coffee in the morning. It's not bullet, it's not keto, and it definitely doesn't have any sugar and or dairy. Ultimately what this is my bone broth and cinnamon black coffee. So I talked about this previously and I just wanted to do a very quick video on this. So let's see if I can do this with one hand. So here's just some organic saline cinnamon. We're just going to put a wee bit, about that much in there for flavoring and to help us have a little bit better nutrient uptake in our cells. And then we are going to take, this is a grass-fed beef bone broth. You can use whichever bone broth you like. The collagen is definitely needed, so 1 scoop, it's about 15 grams of that. And then you can make any coffee you like. I particularly use the PC Organics dark roast, and then we'll pop that in. I also forgot to fill up my Keurig machine with water. I could have been better prepared, but that's okay. Let's just fill that up. My cups are 12 ounces, so that's usually what I do. Oops, sorry about that. I'll also use a fork or a spoon to keep it down in there while it's percolating, let's say. And then it takes a little bit of stirring, so usually I'll let it sit for a minute right after the coffee has been poured. And then I'll stir it a few times, and then I'll wait a few more minutes, usually while I'm making my breakfast, and or if I'm not going to have it with my breakfast, then I usually just wait a few more minutes and stir it a little bit more just to make sure that all of the bone broth mixes in properly. This doesn't take too long because it's a Keurig. Of course, you can use any type of coffee. This normal one, this Keurig also has a carafe in it, so I can make pots of coffee. But I'm using the pods today, and these are compostable or completely biodegradable pods. There's no plastic in them. That's why I like them. And the little rim that kind of resembles plastic is actually made out of coffee bean shell. So it's nice and hard, but it's completely biodegradable. Good for the environment, or at least not as bad for the environment, and not as bad for us. I don't like running hot liquids through plastics. I just never like that. I always try to go with porcelain or glass. I even try to store, obviously you can't get away from it in today's society. I mean, here the bone broth is sitting in there. Honey, although I don't use it very much, is sitting in there. But a lot of the things, if they come in plastic container, I'll actually swap them out into a glass container. So as you can see, that's coming along nicely. Now, you could flavor it with anything you like, or you don't even have to use the cinnamon, but this I find is a really good way to get my daily collagen and gelatin in with the bone broth. And I'm not particularly just sitting here drinking a cup of soup or whatnot. As I mentioned before, I'm not particularly fond of bone broth taste, to be honest. So I kind of would like to mask it, and this is my technique for masking it. Use a little bit of cinnamon, helps me, and put it right inside my coffee. And honestly, it pretty much just tastes like coffee, and with a little bit of the cinnamon in it, and you don't really taste the bone broth, but you get all the good benefits. So you can see that it's almost completely already dissolved, and we just keep stirring it around for a little bit. Usually I'd let it sit for a little bit more, but I think this is pretty good for the purpose of this video. These will completely all go away, these little spots of collagen or spots of bone broth. You just let it sit for a few minutes and then they'll go away. And then I am just going to take a sip of that. Ah, wonderful. Okay, well, I hope you like it. Give it a shot, and we'll see you next time.